Welcome to yet another Battle of the Balms. Today we are putting the IT Cosmetics Do It All Balm up next to the brand new L'Oreal True Match Hyaluron Tinted Balm. But before we get into the video, I have to take a moment and thank this beautiful community for the outpouring of love and support on my community page and on Instagram. When I lost my beloved dog, Bosley, a few weeks ago, I could not even begin to respond to all the comments, but I do want to let you know it really meant the world to me. You are the best part of YouTube, and for that I am very, very grateful. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I was just about to film this video when he passed away unexpectedly. So I have had a few weeks to play with these and form some thoughts. So again, we're going to put them side by side and see if in fact the L'Oreal Balm is a dupe, which some people say it's a dupe. But like I said, we'll compare them side by side. I will apply them side by side and you can decide what you think. Now, I was a huge fan of the original L'Oreal Age Perfect 4-in-1 Tinted Balm, which unfortunately was discontinued a few years ago. I actually think that product was a little bit ahead of its time. Now the new IT Cosmetics Do It All Tinted Balm has virtually an identical ingredient list to the original L'Oreal Age Perfect. In fact, a lot of people were a little bit upset that L'Oreal, who also happens to own IT Cosmetics, took the old drugstore formula and put it in a higher end product. So I was really excited when L'Oreal came out with their new True Match Hyaluron Tinted Balm. I actually thought maybe they were just repackaging their old Age Perfect. However, the ingredient list on the new L'Oreal Balm is completely different from the original Age Perfect and the IT Cosmetics, so definitely not a dupe, at least ingredient-wise. Even so, we are going to see how these compare. What surprised me the most is the price. The IT Do It All Balm is $34 for 18 grams or 0.63 ounces, making this $54 an ounce. The L'Oreal is only $18. However, you get significantly less product. You get only 8 grams or 0.23 ounces, making this $64 an ounce. So while you initially pay less out of pocket, ounce per ounce, the IT is actually less expensive. So definitely not a more affordable drugstore alternative. Having said that, you can find L'Oreal for a little bit less on Amazon or Walmart, and that basically makes the price identical. As far as the packaging, IT Cosmetics comes in a very sturdy, compact glass jar, very similar to the original Age Perfect. And the L'Oreal comes in a plastic compact. I don't know, it definitely feels like a drugstore plastic compact. Now it does have a mirror, which I don't find at all useful because I can't see. And it also comes with a little sponge, which I haven't used. I do prefer a brush. Anyway, all in all, I definitely prefer the IT packaging to the L'Oreal. In fact, when I first got this, the pan fell out almost immediately and I had to glue it in. So definitely on the flimsy side. As far as ingredients and claims, the IT states it has 92% skincare ingredients. Ingredients include water, dimethicone, and skin-loving ingredients such as hyaluronic acid, glycerin, vitamin E, and peptides. L'Oreal claims 80% skincare ingredients, however, very different ingredient list. No water, very surprising, no dimethicones. It does have hyaluronic acid, but no actual skincare actives such as vitamin E or peptides. L'Oreal does have added fragrance and the IT is fragrance-free. Neither one contain any drying alcohol or any sun filters. They both claim to offer all-day hydration, skincare benefits, blend effortlessly for a radiant finish with a healthy glow. L'Oreal says it offers light to medium coverage, and it says it offers sheer to light coverage. As far as shades, IT Cosmetics comes in 15 shades, and I have it in the shade 210 Light Neutral. You can see it is very well used. I have been using this pretty much nonstop for an everyday skin tint since I first reviewed it a couple of months ago. It has a really, really lightweight, serum-y consistency, sort of like a pressed serum, whereas the L'Oreal, it does feel very silky, but it is more firmly pressed, and it feels a little bit denser, and it is definitely more pigmented. L'Oreal comes in 12 shades, and I have it in the shade 3 Light. So here is L'Oreal 3 Light, and here is IT Cosmetics 210 Neutral. And even though the shades do look a little bit different, they both work really well on my skin, although the L'Oreal is a little bit deeper, which does work really well for me this time of year. So let's get these on my 66-year-old very dry skin. Now, I've already done my morning skincare, including SPF, which I do wear every single day, and anytime I'm testing or demonstrating any complexion products, I like to use my Dermatology Broad Spectrum SPF 43, I believe. Because this is untinted, it does not leave a white cast, and it's not overly glowy. It doesn't alter the coverage or the finish of the complexion product. Now, I do like to apply both of these products with brushes, and today I am using my BK Beauty 115, really nice complexion brush, and I have 2 of them, so no cross-contamination. And we will start with the IT Cosmetics on this side. Now, I do have my eye makeup on. I do have a little bit of corrector on. And today I'm going to use both of these as concealer over the corrector. Everything on my face, everything I'm talking about, all the brushes, everything will be listed and linked below as usual. Anyway, with the IT, I just dip my brush in, pick a little bit up, and get my little hand mirror here. There is, oh my gosh, this feels almost wet and very cooling going on. One of the things I really love about this product is how it feels on the skin. It feels more like skincare than makeup. Now, it pretty much blends itself because it is pretty sheer. But I have found I can build it up to almost a light medium. Do you see how effortlessly that blends in? A little bit on the forehead. Now, it looks like I'm putting a lot on, but you almost can't overdo it with this product, because it literally, it just melts into the skin. Okay, so it is basically blended. There is the IT Cosmetics compared to, oops, I'm cat sitting and he's rubbing up against my camera. Hold on, let me grab him. Come here, Bob. Oh my gosh. I'm cat sitting Bob. He's a super cute cat. He's keeping me company. He was a friend of Bosley's. Anyway, he's a really good kitty cat. Okay, where were we? Okay, yeah, he doesn't want to be on the bed. Anyway, IT Cosmetics compared to nothing. I really think it has a really pretty light to almost light medium coverage. Okay, let's get on the other side and then we'll talk about how both of them feel. Okay, now for the L'Oreal, different brush. And again, it really does have a different feeling It is definitely more firmly packed and a little more dense. And let's get it on this side of my face. And there is the shade. Whoops, did I not get enough on? I want to make sure you can see the shade. There is the shade 3 Light. Now, while it is silky, it is just a little bit stiffer. And it does blend easily, but it is, I don't know, just not quite, it doesn't spread as, I don't know, it's good. It really does. In comparison, it blends a little bit more stiffly, if that makes sense. But it is very, very easy to get a good blend. And you can see it is a nice match for my summer complexion. Again, definitely can build this up. I think I have some spots over here. Can just pounce a little bit on and build it up to really pretty much a solid medium. So there is the L'Oreal compared to the IT. Now, like I said, I am going to use both of these as a concealer. I do have a little bit of the Pixie Peach corrector on and my Dermatology Luminous Eye Corrector, but no concealer. So I'm going to use a concealer brush, pick up a little bit of the L'Oreal, and use it as a concealer. Both of these products are really very flexible. I think I need a little more coverage on my nose on this side. I do like the additional coverage that the L'Oreal offers. So there is L'Oreal as a concealer. And let me grab another one of my REPHR concealer brushes. I really like this style of concealer brush where they're dense but soft, they're angled, they're narrow. It just seems to fit in that deep, dark inner corner really, really well. So picking up a little bit of the IT and grabbing the mirror and using that as a concealer. Oh my gosh. Again, I absolutely love how this feels going on my skin. Wet, moisturizing, cooling. Really, really lovely. Okay. All right. So now they both feel slightly tacky. I have found that it does take a few minutes for them to dry down. They're tacky, but not, overly tacky. They're not sticky. In fact, my hair doesn't really stick to it. It's tacky in a richly moisturized sense. Anyway, I'm going to go off camera, let these dry down, put a little blush and lipstick on, and then we'll come back with final thought. Okay, so here is the final look. Now, I did notice when I went off camera that I did have a couple of blending errors. I don't wear contacts, so when I'm doing makeup on camera, sometimes it's hard for me to see the blending errors until I get up close and personal with a magnifying mirror. So I just took my sponge and corrected a little bit on my nose and above my lip. Anyway, as far as the other makeup I have on, I wanted bright, happy colors. So I put on RMS lipstick in the shade Miranda, Cloudtopia cream blush. I don't know what shade it is. And I topped the lipstick with a little bit of Revive Beauty, Ellie Glein's Revive Beauty lip gloss. This is gorgeous. Like I said, everything will be listed and linked below. Now, I did lightly set my under eyes with some of my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder and a little bit on my T-zone. The tackiness has disappeared, but it still feels very, very moisturizing. As far as my final thoughts, so this side is the IT, this side is the L'Oreal. They both feel moisturizing. They both blend easily. Neither one of them accentuate pores, lines, wrinkles, or dry patches. Now, I wouldn't call these products exactly blurring. They are quite radiant, but they are somehow smoothing, although I do think the L'Oreal is a little bit more smoothing than the IT, probably because of the silica in the ingredient list. And the L'Oreal is definitely a little bit more perfecting because of the higher coverage. Now, like I said, I have been playing with these for a couple of weeks, and I do get about 6 hours of wear time, the 6 hours that I expect from an everyday skin tint. They fade gracefully. They don't do anything weird. They don't get cakey or patchy. They really do fade gracefully. I actually really like them both. I tend to go for the IT more for minimal makeup days, just for quick out-the-door errands. But if I want a little bit more perfected but still very natural look, I'll be grabbing for the L'Oreal. Now, I do think the L'Oreal will probably work for all skin types, and I was going to say that the IT Cosmetics is a little bit better for dry to normal skin types. However, I recently saw a video by Tina H. Beautiful Journey. She reviewed the IT Cosmetics Do It All Balm on her oily combo skin, and she really enjoyed it. So I will link her video in the description box below. So, while I did not find a more affordable drugstore dupe, I do think I'm going to get really good use out of both of these products. You know, there's something so fast and easy about a balm. If you enjoyed this Battle of the Balms, YouTube will be showing my other Battle of the Balms up next, where I compare the IT Cosmetics to the new Laura Mercier Blur Balm. But if you do have to go, have yourself a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in my next video.